All right, to talk more on Iran-Israel conflict, DD India's Akshay Dongre is joining us live from Delhi. Akshay, a lot of developments happened overnight through the day in that part of the region. Iran retaliated, hitting US base in Qatar. Trump responded by saying that it's a weak response, then Trump posting that there would be a ceasefire. Iran says nothing has been agreed. Break it down for us, please. What details do you have?
Well, Abhishek, it's quite a funny way things have turned out, especially last night. But one thing that we have seen for sure, especially in the Middle East, is that anything can happen under the administration of Donald Trump. It seems that Trump is was fixated on one point that he has to take certain retaliation as far as the Iranian nuclear program is concerned. There was also pressure from Israel coming in. US had to do something. But, all in all, if we talk about all the developments of the last 24 hours, they are also quite surprising. Because Abhishek, we have seen that how this entire thing was escalating, but now that things are moving towards rather a ceasefire, which is a great news for the entire world. We can clearly see a pattern here that and that was also said or rather written on social media by Donald Trump, that the Iranian side had informed them, even if it was just a hint. This is usually what is happening in war nowadays. Adversaries are informed so that minimum casualties take place. That's what we are seeing in the West Asia. Earlier it was between Hezbollah and the Israeli side, that any kind of attack that were taking place were not leaving. They were either being intercepted or were not having a lot of casualties. So this is indeed seems to it seems that this has happened last night, that the kind of actions that have been taken more because of domestic pressures coming in for their government to do something about the kind of insult that they have taken as far as the attacks are concerned. So Israel killed several of the IRG Iranian Revolutionary Guards senior officers. As far as this nuclear program is concerned, several bombings had taken place. So Iran clearly knew that as far as capabilities are concerned, they were lacking. They were not getting a lot of allies to come out open in their support. And if an all-out war happens, not only will the top leadership will be removed forcefully, but the kind of capabilities that were showed by the US side meant that there would be a lot of casualties of the people as well. But when we saw the B-2 bombers going, and there were claims that several of the nuclear facilities have been destroyed. But then later the satellite images came and they also showed minimum damage. One thing had become clear, that attack by the US was just a show. It was a force, demonstrator that if you do not fall back in line or if you do not step back from war, this is something that you are going to face, and these planes can devastate your entire cities if they cannot be even caught on radar. So they simply did not have technology. They were outplayed and outclassed when it comes to warfare. One thing, we saw the kind of action that was taken by the US. Then in retaliation, Iran had to do something, and it seems that the kind of action that they took at the Qatari base was also in retaliation of this only. It was also signaling that, see, we are doing so that the domestic population is happy, that that their regimes have done something against the adversary. But now, since everyone has seen the horrors of war, people do not really want to get more into it, and that perhaps is the reason why everyone has decided to step back now with some kind of damage done to the adversary, but minimum one, so that the war doesn't escalate and everyone is happy back home as well.
Actually, it has had big impact on the markets as well. Oil prices have continued to tumble, and global oil prices record sharpest single-day decline in 5 years.
Well, that's great news also, that perhaps is happening because this war, this tension has been building on for far too long. It has been years since the 7th October attack that the tensions have been building. So people have been assuming, worst, that any kind of action that will be taken on Iran or any kind of action against Iranian nuclear facility will be devastating the entire region. But now we have seen that phase as well. We have seen that worst as well, that actually both the countries attacked against each other. Iran also launched attacks at Qatari base. That clearly means that the worst is over now. So the market realizes that the worst that they have been expecting as far as the attack on 7th October is concerned, because tensions have been building up for far too long. That is over, and the oil prices that or the companies that the oil prices that were going up, rather, Abhishek, because of the tensions, have now suddenly realized that the worst is over. So the oil prices are tumbling down because the tensions have de-escalated, and it'll be interesting to see that how the oil market responds in long term to this ceasefire.
All right, Akshay, we'll leave it at that. Thank you for getting us the latest on that story.